Our main story tonight is government surveillance, and I realise most people would rather have a conversation about literally any other topic, including is my smartphone giving me cancer, to which the answer is probably, or do goldfish suffer from depression, to which the answer is yes, but very briefly. But the fact is, it is vital that we have a discussion about this now, because an important date is just around the corner.
One big date to circle on the calendar when it comes to a very controversial subject, the reauthorization of the Patriot Act and all of the controversial provisions therein. June 1st, they've got to come to an agreement to reauthorize or curtail those programs.
Yes, some controversial provisions within the Patriot Act are set to expire on June the 1st. And let's start by focusing on the most controversial portion of the Patriot Act that is up for renewal, Section 215.
It's called Section 215, nicknamed the Library Records Provision, which allows the government to require businesses to hand over records of any, quote, any tangible things, including books, records, papers, documents, and other items.
If that sounds broad, it's because it was very much written that way. Section 215 says the government can ask for any tangible things, so long as it's for an investigation to protect against international terrorism. Here's the big problem here. If we let Section 215 get renewed in its current form without serious public debate, we're in trouble. Because Section 215 is the canary in the coal mine. If we cannot fix that, we're not going to fix any of them. And the public debate so far has been absolutely pathetic. A year ago, a former congresswoman was discussing the 215 programme on the news. Watch what happened.
This vast collection of data is not that useful and infringes substantially on personal privacy. I think at this point we should seriously consider not continuing
Congresswoman
Section 215.
Let me interrupt you. Congresswoman, let me interrupt you just for a moment. We've got some breaking news out of Miami. Stand by, if you will. Right now in Miami, Justin Bieber has been arrested on a number of charges. The judge is reading the charges, including resisting arrest and driving under the influence. He's appearing now before the judge for his bond hearing. Let's watch.
Now, the Patriot Act was written just after 9/11, and for years it was extended and reauthorised with barely a passing thought. In fact, it became so routine that when it was extended in 2011, one newscast just tacked it onto the end of a report about a presidential trip abroad.
Chip Reed, CBS News, traveling with the president in Deauville, France.
Also in France, by the way, President Obama signed into law a 4-year extension of the terrorism-fighting Patriot Act.
Also in France, by the way. By the way, he threw that in like a mother telling her grown daughter that her childhood pet just died. Oh, nice talking to you, sweetie. Also, by the way, Mr. Peppers is dead. See you at Christmas. Bang. But all of that was before the public was made aware of what the government's capabilities actually were, because that all ended in June of 2013.
Edward Snowden has just taken responsibility for one of the biggest government leaks in U.S. history.
We learned that the government has the capacity to track virtually every American phone call and to scoop up impossibly vast quantities of data across the internet.
Revelations that the NSA eavesdropped on world leaders.
If you've ever been to the Bahamas, the NSA could have recorded your phone calls and stored them for up to a month.
Yet all that information was exposed by Edward Snowden, and it is still kind of incredible that a 29-year-old contractor was able to steal top-secret documents from an organisation that literally has the word security in its name. Clearly that was not great for them, because the only place where it should be that easy for employees in their 20s to steal is a lids store. Dude, you sure I should take this? Relax, dude, it's a Miami Marlins cap. We're not exactly selling Fabergé eggs here. OK, let's dive in. Why did you do this?
The NSA has the greatest surveillance capabilities that we've ever seen in history. Now, what they will argue is that they don't use this for nefarious purposes against American citizens. In some ways, that's true. But the real problem is that they're using these capabilities to make us vulnerable to them and then saying, while I have a gun pointed at your head, I'm not going to pull the trigger. Trust me.
So what's the NSA you want look like? Because you applied for a job at the NSA, right. So you clearly see an inherent value in that shadowy organisation.
I worked with mass surveillance systems against Chinese hackers. I saw that, these things do have some purpose.
And you want your spies to be good at spying, to be fair.
Right. What you don't want is you don't want them spying inside their own country. Spies are great when they're on our side, but we can never forget that they're incredibly powerful and incredibly dangerous. And if they're off the leash, they can end up coming after us.